You ever study something for hours and the next day you remember almost nothing? You read the same page again, you try to focus harder, but it just doesn't stick. And then a thought comes. Maybe my memory is weak. But here's the truth most students never realize. It's not your memory. It's how you're using it. Because your brain is not designed to memorize by force. It remembers what feels important, what feels clear, what it sees again and again. So let me ask you this. Why do you remember random song lyrics, but forget what you studied yesterday? Why do some people study less, but remember more? And what if you could train your brain to memorize faster, with less effort? In this video, I'll show you simple techniques that can instantly improve how you remember things. So let's start with the first method, because this one alone can change how you study forever. The first thing you need to do is stop rereading and start recalling. This is where most students go wrong. They read the same page again and again, highlight everything, and feel like they understand it. But here's the problem. Reading feels familiar, but familiarity is not memory. Real memory comes from recall. So instead of reading the same thing again, close your book and ask yourself, what did I just learn? Try to say it in your own words, even if it's not perfect, because this small struggle is what strengthens your memory. Think about it like this. If you always look at the answer, your brain never learns to find it. But when you try to recall, your brain builds stronger connections, and that's what makes information stick. So next time you study, don't just read. Pause, close the book, and test yourself. Because the more you recall, the faster you remember. Now, the second method is even more powerful because it uses something your brain naturally loves. The second thing you need to do is use active repetition, not passive repetition. Most people repeat information the wrong way. They read it again. They look at their notes again. And they think, I've seen this before, so I know it. But your brain doesn't work like that. Seeing something again is not the same as remembering it. So here's the shift. Instead of just rereading, repeat it actively. That means speak it out loud. Write it without looking. Teach it like you're explaining it to someone. Because when you involve your voice, your hands, and your thinking, your brain pays more attention. And what gets more attention gets remembered faster. Think about it. You don't remember something just because you saw it. You remember it because you used it. So the next time you study, don't just go through the notes again. Interact with them. Speak. Write. Explain. Because the more actively you repeat, the faster your brain locks it in. Now, the third method is where things become even easier, because this one reduces the effort completely. The third thing you need to do is break information into small chunks, because your brain doesn't like large blocks of information. When something looks big, it feels heavy, confusing, and harder to remember. That's why long paragraphs don't stick in your mind, but small pieces do. So instead of trying to memorize everything at once, break it down. Turn one big topic into 3 or 4 small points. Turn a paragraph into keywords. Turn complex ideas into simple steps, because your brain remembers patterns, not overload. Think about phone numbers. You don't remember 10 digits at once. You break them into parts, and suddenly it becomes easy. That's exactly how memory works. The smaller the chunk, the faster you remember it. So next time you study, don't try to memorize everything together. Break it down, simplify it, and your brain will do the rest. Now let's bring all of this together, because these 3 simple methods can completely change how you learn. Now here's the most important thing to understand. Memory is not about intelligence, it's about method. And in this video, we talked about 3 simple shifts. First, stop rereading and start recalling, because your brain remembers what it retrieves, not what it just sees. Second, use active repetition. Speak it, write it, explain it, because the more you use information, the faster it stays. And third, break everything into small chunks, because your brain remembers patterns, not overload. And when you apply these 3 together, something powerful happens. Studying feels easier, remembering becomes faster, and your confidence starts growing, because now you're not guessing anymore. You know how to learn. So don't just watch this video and move on. Try one method today. Apply it in your next study session, because small changes in how you study create big changes in your results. Stay consistent, stay focused, and keep building a sharper mind. I'll see you in the next video.